So what's been your first impressions of Korey on the field?
A lot of ability, as advertised. Um, and then my job is to get him to play fast, So we do a lot of things. We expect him to do a lot of things. And he's come out here and taken it day by day, practice by practice, and gotten better every day.
How do you manage the expectations he carries in here from everybody else?
Yeah, I think our expectations are higher than anything, like me and him. We've had a lot of talks during recruiting, and now that we're here, our expectations for what he does on the field is higher than anybody else's, and so there isn't a bigger critic out there than Korey Foreman and myself.
What's it been like developing that relationship with him? Because obviously you guys didn't get to meet during the recruiting
Right.
process. What's that been like the past eight months or so?
Well, it's been awesome. It's been getting to know each other, a lot of talks, but at the end of the day, coming out here and being in battles together out here on the practice field has built something different and opened up, a part of the relationship where it's like, okay, now I'm really listening. What do you need? And how can I help you? And then vice versa. This makes sense. This doesn't make sense. And clean things up, basically.
What have you learned about him personally?
What I learned about him personally? He's kind of low key, joke around, but you push the right buttons, he gets fired up, and that's a button I push all the time.
I know you said in the spring that he might have some catching up to do, just given the fact that he wasn't here for the spring.
Right.
How big of a disparity is that? Is it less of a disparity than?
I think it's normal.
Yeah.
No, I think it's normal for every kid. If any kid came in the fall or at the end of fall, they would have had a bigger advantage. But he's picking it up day by day, and our group is really tight. Our vets and Nick and Jake and Thule have really put their arm around him and helping him, learn me and my expectations and then, Coach Orlando's and Coach Helton. So it's been kind of a group effort, but yeah, he's been taking it day by day.
Where have you seen Jamar kind of take the biggest steps forward?
I would say my challenge to him, I put up spring ball our first day of fall camp and showed him, like, are you better than you were 6 months ago? That's for everybody. It's an open challenge. And if not, then why? I failed somewhere, you failed somewhere. And they've all taken it personally, and they've come out here and have made huge strides, and I think they understand that they're really close to being the guy. And so there's a sense of urgency that, just heightens and allows him to get better, really focus. He's been one of the kids that you never have to worry about him being excited or ready to work. He's worked his ass off since he's been here, since I've known him. So it's good to see him, and it gives me pride in seeing him make plays and have fun out there, and just getting better.
What is your concern about the depth of that nose tackle spot, given everyone you've lost since the spring?
Yeah, I'm not worried about the depth. I think the guys that are in there are going to produce, and it was never. You asked Marlon, there was never a guaranteed spot on our D-line. You had to earn it every day. And so the guys that come out here and earn it are going to play. And I don't have a set 10 guys got to play, 9 guys got to play. It's whoever's productive and can do it the longest is going to play productive and the longest. So that's my challenge to them is, earn your playing time. And whoever can play long enough and stay in there long, if you can play a whole game, I told Thule, if you can play a whole game, then play a whole game. I'm not going to take you out if you can be productive at that amount of play. So for me, depth, it comes down to developing the whole room, and that's something Coach Helton's big on is making sure everybody's being developed. And I think as a group, like I was saying, as a unit, we're pretty tight. So I think everybody's really developing, and somebody's going to play there. And that's kind of the thing of fall camp is to find out who it's going to be.
Do you hold out hope for Ish being the factor this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see him walking around and things that he can do, and the kind of kid he is. Like, he's got a real laid-back personality, but he wants to be out here as much as anybody does. And so, yeah, for him, absolutely, and for us, absolutely. I want to see what he can do, and if he can push guys around him and where he'd fit in. So, yeah, absolutely, holding out hope for Ish.
You're talking about pushing buttons, trying to motivate. Has
Yeah.
there been anybody out there who you haven't found that hot button yet?
Anybody? No, I think well, one guy like Craig and To, their buttons always pushed. So it's kind of I think competitive nature of being a football player at this level, everybody has it, and it's usually the same kind of things. You just challenge them, and you do it in their face, and then they get fired up and go out and play.
So what is the button with Korey?
Same thing, challenging his ass like, in his face.
Can you talk about the versatility of your defensive line group? I mean, it seems like similar sizes across the board almost. So.
Yeah, Coach Steiner has done a great job. He's done a great job this offseason, and you take Nick Figueroa, for instance. He played at 250. Right now, this morning, he was 277. He's right around 280. Thule, I think, is right in the 290s range, day in and day out, even after practice. So a lot of what they're doing with their bodies allows us to put them everywhere, which goes back to the whole nose tackle position. It's really up in the air because everybody's changed their body in a way that they could play all these positions. And having guys that were ends in high school or outside backers in high school, it allows them to just put the weight on and figure out the inside stuff, but while being productive on the edge.
In what ways have you seen that extra weight or strength help Thule, I guess?
Oh man, just turn the film on. This dude's throwing guys around, and to his credit, it hasn't hurt his cardio. Usually when guys put on weight, they're slower or they can't last as long. But Thule's out there driving everybody back, throwing guys around, hitting running backs and stuff like that. So that's, I think, the biggest impact of putting on a bunch of weight and muscle.
Thank you, guys.